And welcome to another edition of Keepin Orange and Blue. I'm Ryan Evan, joined as always by our being his finest, Kevin Ducey. What's up, Kev?
What is up, my man Ryan? Kind of a crazy week in Illini world. It's a little weird. Here we are. We're sitting, almost a week after National Championship Monday. And holy crap, do we got a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
This is,
A lot of good things. A lot of good things. Some not so good, but you know what? When one door and one chapter closes, you just got to move on to the next and keep it going, man.
Absolutely. We could start with that. We start with the Chester Frasier news, which any Illini fan that's not been a fan in the last 5 years, any Illini fan that's been a fan for over a decade, going back to Chester's playing career, it hurts a little bit because love the energy that he brought, love the connection that he made with the team, love how he just was a part of, like, we loved who he was as a player. He played so hard and so tough. On some and him breaking his hand his senior year probably cost us from winning a tournament game or two, which really hurt. That was a really tough, gritty team. And I don't know that. And so the rumor is that he's taking the job at West Virginia. That's all but assured. I don't know that's been officially announced yet. But from what has been heard, and listen, you can read the tea leaves, right? Chester Frasier was really prominent in the recruiting of Jaden Epps. Jaden Epps came to Illinois, was unhappy, left, supposedly burned some bridges with some of those East Coast AAU teams. Chester Frasier, brought in Sincere Harris. He brought in Amani Hansberry. We are actively recruiting in the portal for guys who might be better versions of those guys. And I think that Chester is probably just a little frustrated with the overall philosophy, the way that Brad's going to operate in the portal. And I don't think, listen, Brad Underwood is not at Illinois to have a rebuilding year ever. And with this team, if we simply went the high school recruiting route and didn't backfill with lots of portal guys, we'd be in a rebuilding year. We'd have been in a rebuilding year last year. We'd have been in a rebuilding year the year before. And you can look at last year. Last year's everything you need to know about it, right? Matt Mayer, for all his weirdness, for all his caffeine drinks and all the goofy shit, he was third team All Big Ten. It's third team All Big Ten. You're going to take Matt Meyer. You're going to take Jaden Epps. You're going to take Matt Meyer. You're going to take Matt Meyer. You're going to take Sky Clark. You're going to take Matt Meyer. And then you can go back before that to Alfonso Plummer was third team All Big Ten. Illinois has been working the transfer portal before these transfers were being able to play right away through the grad platform. And Brad does not want to have another 2022-2023 season. And so therefore, it's going to start getting some of these guys in the portal, and we're doing it. We're seeing it this week. So we had some great success in the portal this week and stuff we can talk about. But I think that's ultimately is the overall differences in philosophy from Chester and Brad, and I think that's okay. And it doesn't mean that Chester can't go cut his teeth somewhere else, potentially move into a lower mid-major job eventually, and possibly be Brad Underwood's replacement in 10 years. Who knows? We don't know, but we wish Chester.
Jake, in the comments, Jake, explain why you say Sean Miller is becoming a thorn in our side. So, but yeah, there's a lot of
They want Dante Maddox real bad.
Yeah, what'd you say?
They want Dante Maddox real bad.
Yeah, they do. But I'm pretty sure Illinois is getting the next visit, right?
Yep.
And if he leaves, I'll say this, and we're going to get to that, guys. I know everybody can't wait. If he leaves the visit, then we'll talk. But I know Illinois is going to make that a really hard decision. So, and having Tim Anderson doesn't hurt. So, we'll get to him. So, Illinois, even though it's not been official. Here's another thing. Chester's birthday is today too, guys.
Yeah, happy birthday, my man. Appreciate Chester Frasier, everything he gave Illinois.
Yeah, so it's his birthday today. I think that just real sour him to be like, I'm out, Illinois, my birthday, ILL. Like, no, I think it's going to come early in this week. And let's be honest with you guys too. You think he's already recruiting for West Virginia? Do you really think them offering Jaden Magwood was an accident?
Right.
think about this, you guys. Jaden Magwood is Chester's guy. Like, he loves him. He liked him more than Jeremiah Fears. And
Yes.
when we had Ryan Ferran on the show, which we will be having him on more. I almost had him on tonight. Yeah. Everybody's is weirded out by this. I think me and you're just because we switched sides. Like tonight, you're over there, I'm over here. Like, people just can't handle it. It was funny. But yes, we're just keeping you guys on your toes and noticing. Yeah, and Jaden Epps hit the portal too. Whose guy was that?
Chester Frazier.
Okay, so if you guys think that's a coincidence that West Virginia offered Jaden Magwood today, it's not. That's Chester Frazier. And Jaden Epps hit the portal today. It's not. It's Chester Frazier. What were the odd? I wish we could just put money down. West Virginia offers Epps. Like, put right now. Like, I'd bet $100 to win 1,000, whatever. The odds.
It'd be as good a bet as betting that Scotty Scheffler was going to win the Masters today. So yeah.
Yeah. So, like, I'm telling you guys, West Virginia's offering Jaden Epps, like a magic crystal ball for you. So he's gone. And I think I'd be shocked if it's not tomorrow or Tuesday. But then who is Illinois? Illinois has been kind of aware of this for a little bit. So a lot of it Kevin already mentioned earlier. And then from my perspective, what I've had heard is that, Jace Butler was a little bit a part of this too. I think Chester was just keeping it real with him. I think Chester was letting him know he was going to be leaving. And that was his guy. You got to remember that. Jace Butler was Chester's guy. And he's just letting him know, like, And like I posted a tweet Friday night saying, like, Chester did not want to leave his alma mater, you guys. I want you guys to know that, in the sense of he didn't want to come to the job to just be like, I'm out. But there's so much behind the scenes too that, yes, Caden, my bad. But it's like you have a perception, you have a name to live up to. At the end of the day, you got to go back home. You got to go back to Baltimore, and you got to face people. You got to face parents. You got to face all this, and you got to talk to them about why their kid's not playing. And, well, at the end of the day, you're not the head coach, okay? Right. And so Brad's going to go get older guys, and younger guys are going to sit, and they may not like it. And those are the guys that Chester's recruiting, and he has to deal with that. So you're not always going to see eye to eye with your head coach. I think in a perfect world, Illinois would have guys like Epps and Clark would have stayed. And I will say this, that DGL, while didn't necessarily love every aspect of it, he's sticking it out because he knows there's a bigger thing, more important than, man, I should have played 25 minutes as a freshman. Not every player sees that, and not every parent understands that. Yeah. So I think it was just time for a little fresh start for Chester to go someplace else, maybe where the philosophies of that coach fit more in with what he wants as a recruiter. Also, it's a little closer to home too. He wants to get closer to Baltimore at some point, and he's a lot.
Yeah, I mean, it makes an easier recruiting pitch for his hotbed, right? Yeah. And he can repair AAU relationships that were broken, frankly, with the Jaden Epps situation in Illinois.
And no, Fears is not decommitting. He's a Jeff Alexander guy.
Yeah.
So
basically every kid that's outside the state of Illinois, is a Chester Frazier guy.
Yeah. So what does that mean? And then we'll get to. I'll tell a name that someone that I'd heard a couple times today, and maybe you've heard a name or two, but so I would also put the same amount of money down that Amani Hansberry is going to leave now.
I would think so.
Yeah, so Amani Hansberry, okay, as supposed hires. Okay. I'm sure you're talking about maybe the assistant coach that Illinois is trying to get maybe from Xavier is probably what you're referring to. Cohen, yeah. So Hansberry is a Baltimore guy, okay? He's a Chester Frazier guy. His parents and family have already been kind of unhappy with him not playing as much. West Virginia, a lot closer than Illinois to Baltimore. Chester Frazier gone to West Virginia. You can kind of just read the tea leaves. that I would be surprised. And in Illinois right now, they're after Booth, right? Who's going to be a 4 who would play what Amani Hansberry plays. Okay, so you can kind of just see that a little bit too. So you can add to a little bit of the unhappiness behind the scenes, which I talked to a lot of people behind the scenes, and they don't all necessarily love how Brad is handling it. It's like you're just purposely pissing off all your freshmen, your quality players every year. But if he keeps winning, what can you say? I mean, at the end of the day, if you're winning, that's why you watch the game. That's what you're there for. And yes, Sincere Harris could be a name too to really watch out for as well. He's a Ohio kid. He's a Chester Frasier guy, and I'm pretty sure West Virginia is closer to Akron than.
Oh, absolutely, much closer, and I mean, it's Brian Boulay put it. It's a different age of college basketball. Like, this is what we're doing. This is almost like NBA free agency, and it's unfortunate, but we got to adjust to it. And the fact is, Amani Hansberry, a really nice player. I think he's got a bright future wherever he's at. I love the way he rebounds. But dude, Kerry Booth is legit. Dude.
Yeah.
Like, that guy's he's got a lot of he's not as adept of a passer as Coleman. He's a little bit more athletic. He's probably not as quick side to side.
Definitely more athletic up and down, no doubt.
Yeah. And then the question's like, do we think this will hurt our prep recruiting? I don't. I think this is the state of the world of college basketball. Yeah. Like, if Sincere Harris and Monty Hansberry transfer to West Virginia and Jaden Epps, how good are they going to be? Like, I don't know. Like, they might be all right, but it's just, I mean, preps are going to want to go to teams that win. Like UConn is the team people want to go to. Half their teams transfer
Travis,
as much as
no, hell no. Epps is not coming back. For anybody who just tuned in, it'd be really smart to watch the replay. And you guys, I'm going to ask 2 things of you guys, 2. And if you do one of them, we'll appreciate it. And I think Kev would agree. Either retweet this on X, or if you're watching on YouTube and you haven't, subscribe to the channel, please. Okay, just do one of those 2 things, and I promise you, when this is over, the replay, the first 12 minutes will be worth your time. So,
yeah, we talked all about why Chester left and why that's happening, and like I said, it's sad, but this is the world of college basketball, and it's one of those things like, people ask who is your guy on this Illinois basketball team. My guy was Coleman Hawkins because he was here for 4 years, and my guy next year, if he's here, will be Luke Goody. My guy will be the guy who sticks around with the program the longest. But it's also like, there's guys who left and we're like, oh man, really sad to see him go, and then they don't really go perform elsewhere.
We're getting to all this, you guys, all these update things. We're going to get to it. We're just starting with Chester, you guys. Calm down.
No, I love it. Just keep coming, man. It's awesome. This is what it's about.
Yeah, we got 25, 30 good minutes left of this. So, in a nutshell, Chester not happy with all his high school recruits being recruited over. He's really been focusing more on high school kids. Brad and Jeff really a lot. Tim too, not to a degree. He's still getting high school kids, but the portal. Yep. High school kids of Chester, he has to go back to the East Coast and explain to all these parents why their guys aren't playing. They're leaving. Jace Butler, that's why he left Chester. Hey, they're getting, Kylan Boswell's coming, probably want to get, you're not going to play much. So, unhappiness. He wants to go to a coach where the little philosophy is maybe a little bit different. That's okay. So, Amani Hansberry is a name. You should probably plan on him leaving, even though we're okay. We're happy if he doesn't, because he's from the East Coast. He's a Chester guy. He's a Baltimore kid. And Chester's already recruiting for West Virginia. Epps hit the portal same day. All this other stuff's happening. Jaden Epps is a Chester guy. Okay, so there we go.
And Sincere's a possibility.
It's a possibility. Yeah,
I'd like him to stay. I think every Illinois. I'd like a lot of these guys to stay, but you know what? I'd rather win.
I don't think the chemistry is going to be an issue. I think if you really look at it, let's just hit 2 of the last 3 years. Okay, they've hit the chest. Let's just count the Alfonso Plummer year, right? Won the Big Ten. Still had some new pieces in there. You still added, even before that, Grandison, Plummer. The year with Meyer, even though he was an all Big Ten, there was a lot of issues because they were really dependent on freshmen. 2 of the last 3 years have been really successful years for Illinois basketball with the portal. Okay, guys. So I'm taking that, and I'm thinking he knows what he wants. Like, he likes Kerry Booth, and we're going to get to these here in a sec. We're getting to Boswell next. These traits these guys have. He wants NBA guys, and he's getting them. Kerry Booth will be in the NBA in 2 seasons. So I think one full one next year, and he'll be a guy that the scouts are already looking at, and maybe he wants to take a leap, but I definitely think after his junior year he will be.
And understand this on the hot board. We could put a pin in Chester Frazier and move on to the portal a little bit. Here is like, it's not official, even though it's official, right? And so therefore, there's not been a lot of rumblings around about who the replacements are. But my guy Chicago Illini 8 dropped a name that I'm highly interested in. That was Rod Clark from Tennessee. Had some AAU roots with Mocan. Like, I think that would be a really good Chester replacement. He's making considerably less at Tennessee than what Chester was making, so it would be really like. But there'll be guys out there. Then obviously the Cohen guy at Xavier. Brad showed it better than ever with his ability to rejuvenate his staff after Chin and Orlando Antigua left, and everybody's like, "Oh my goodness, this is going to be the end," and obviously it wasn't. So. But I think, guys, this is going to be the ongoing way that we look at college basketball. College football might be the same. Is we're going to look at freshmen aren't as valuable anymore, and I think that's the whole reason why John Calipari flamed out at the end of Kentucky, and that you're going to have to work the transfer portal. It's the reason why Tom Izzo hasn't been as successful lately because he hasn't worked the transfer portal, and so what Illinois is doing is they're absolutely going to work the transfer portal. So, by the way, got some big commitments this week. Kylan Boswell was a 5-star kid out of high school. He's really young, guys. He's turning like 19 next month, I think, and he's already had 2 seasons of college basketball under his belt. Champaign native, went out west and played. I think getting him in with Fletch would be amazing. And I think he also needs to refocus his priorities. Everything I understand, people asking about chemistry with Kylan Boswell, it's like his teammates loved him. It was not a teammate problem. It was
a super immature 17, 18-year-old kid.
Yes, was his focus basketball, and I think that this is a reset for him. And I also think that what Brad went through last year with the Matt Meyer situation, with the Jaden Epps and the Sky Clark situation, I think he's vetting guys from a personal standpoint. And I think there's been rumors, and I participated on this in message boards about concerns about AJ Storr. I think Brad is going to vet this out through who these guys are before he takes a commitment.
And I want you guys to understand, we're going to go down the list here. This is big. We don't want to overstate this. Champaign native son Kylan Boswell commits to Illinois. Fresh start at home, as I said. He's a lead guard, a true lead guard that the team could use. No, we love booty ball, and if Damas can come back, amazing. That'd be great. Kylan Boswell could just bring the ball up now, and Marcus Damas doesn't have to.
Yeah, take a lot of pressure off Marcus, big time.
So big time. This is a guy, and here's another thing. People were really ragging on Boswell about in big games he shrunk. Let me just tell you something. The dude averaged, 9.6 points per game. But let's be honest, how many times was Caleb Love shooting the ball? Okay.
Yeah.
How many times was Caleb Love shooting the ball, you guys? Like, more than anyone else in the country.
16.
Okay. Kylan Boswell is going to get probably 5 to 8 more shots a game at Illinois. Okay.
And Kylan Boswell still in his 2 years at Arizona taking a pretty significant amount. I mean, he played in 71 games. In his 2 years at Arizona, he was 96 for 251 from 3, shot 38.2% from 3. I mean, that's a really highly effective 3-point shooter. I mean, that puts him at the top of this roster last year. So
and he deferred to Caleb Love quite a bit. And
yeah, Omar Ballo, who's going to Indiana, absolutely.
As you mentioned, and the most important thing, the dude has been in already won the Pac-12, played in a Sweet 16 this year. The dude was 17, 18 years old playing in high leverage games and being a guy that wasn't somebody who would wilt, who was dependent on to carry the load a lot. I know Jalen Bradley came through big for them towards the end of the year, but just think about that. Most guys are just, when you're 18, they're just getting acclimated to college. This dude's coming to Illinois at 19, who's like, I'm already in my 3rd year. Like, I'm ready to roll. his best
80% free throw, 80% free throw
his
shooter.
best
Yeah,
basketball is ahead of him. Yes, he is a good.
and he needs to lose some weight. Like he needs to get a little bit leaner so he can be a little bit quicker. I think he's put on some weight, and I think we have one of the best strength and conditioning guys in college basketball, and I think a year with Fletch will be great. I think he's also really good friends with Fears. I saw somebody ask about Fears. Is he reclassing? Ryan Ferran is who Ryan and I trust on this issue, and he says no. Like Jeremiah is going to spend another year in high school, and we'll be here.
Yep. I'm going to tell you something. Anybody wants to know anything about Jeremiah Fears, Ryan Ferran is the dude. When we bring him on, you ask questions. We plan on trying to do at least once a month. He knows what's up. He literally just laughs when we tell him that. We're like, is he reclassing? No.
Yeah, I asked him. He's like, no, stop asking me, Kevin.
He's not. Yeah, and SCC, I'm going to tell you something. This dude right here, go support this dude's events, okay? He does signing events for all these players, for autographs, trying to help them make money and get their name and their merch out there. He's a great guy. And he's got a big signing event coming April 21st. Guys like Pat Bryant, Malik Elzy, Josh McCray. They're going to be at the food court in Champaign. Go see those guys and keep supporting your local athletes, man. That's how you keep guys on. And you know what? I'm super thrilled that tons of people showed up for Dane Danger, Kev. Like a lot of people showed up for Dane, even though he was leaving to go to Memphis.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So,
hey, I see a lot of I want to answer the questions here, Ryan, because it seems like a lot of people are out there asking about a center, right? So in the transfer portal so far, we've got a point guard, we got a wing shooter in Jake Davis, we've got Trey White, who's a 3-4, can do some things. Like where are we at with a big? Because obviously I think we need another scorer. But guys, we are working the transfer portal from a big standpoint. It's just there's a lot of things that are going on. So first of all, the number one guy in the entire portal, according to On3, is Max May renewed. Supposedly he's going back.
He did. He actually committed back. That's what he said.
But I'm also hearing that he might graduate this summer, so that then it clears up a bunch of garbage and he can be a grad transfer and it won't be a problem. So there's something going on with academics there. Might be because he's a French kid. I do know that we're in on Igor Milicic, the guy from Charlotte, can shoot 6'10". Supposedly we're in on Bradshaw, who's a transfer from Kentucky, a 7'1" guy who can actually step out and shoot the three. Supposedly couldn't guard his shadow in a phone booth though. We're definitely we've made some contact with Danny Wolf. Still some Michigan vibes going on there, but Vladimir Golden is supposedly going to or has committed to Michigan. I don't know what his story is there. So would they take two centers? Like this is going to play out. Like we're still a lot of time before we're looking at who we're reaching up, who we're booking.
Yeah, the Middle Tennessee big that just came about. Brad Loves, the dude shoots like over 40% from deep. Yeah, he's a nice little piece there too. That there's so much wood in the fire at the bigs. So we can give you names that you're looking at, but there isn't one right now that anyone that I talk to who I've delivered so much accurate information to you guys has been like, he's the guy right now. Okay. Like I see a bunch of people saying Jonas Adu from Tennessee. If Rod Clark is the assistant and he's bringing a big with him, that could make a lot of sense. You know,
there's also rumors of bringing the Stanford assistant in. I mean, we're playing checkers here. We're playing chess, not checkers here. So I've got confidence the staff knows what they're going to do. So
yep. Okay, so Kylan Boswell checks one spot here, and the Marcus Damask update isn't an update. We should hear something though by May.
Probably about a month.
Yeah, we're hearing something by early May
next month.
So something by early May is the update for Marcus Damask. Now, be real with us, boys. Do we have the pick of the litter? I wouldn't go that far, but we're getting there. Illinois is a sexy destination, and I haven't heard one thing about they're worried about getting somebody quality. So, and yes, if Cohen does come to Illinois, Maddox, by the way, who Xavier's recruiting very heavily, would pretty much be a lock because you got Anderson and Cohen. And kind of remember this. Remember a few years ago, Kev, when it was the Alan Huss thing? Remember? Remember we had Alan Huss actually as our assistant, and we had who was it? Was it Quincy Guerrier? Was it someone had like committed to Illinois already, but then he committed to the staff with Huss on a Zoom, and then Huss's wife or something threw a bitch fit and didn't want to come to Illinois, so he had to back out.
Yeah. I don't remember the name. I don't remember all the details.
Yeah, so
all this stuff is so fluid.
Brian Boulay, the goats of the fan. I feel like we're more kind of like, I don't know about The Rock, the people's champ, more closely of now. Who would it be? It's not John Cena. It would maybe Cody Rhodes. Yeah, we're like Cody Rhodes. Anyway, it's a WWE.
Hey, Dave. Sorry, Dave asked, would Maddox and Boswell mesh well? Are they both short? They're both shorter guards. But Maddox is more of a combo guard, can really shoot, and he's a Chicago kid. He's not much of a facilitator, and so I think you get more of that with Boswell, and you let him work like
Chicago. Stop with the like little hints, dude. Just say what you want to say, like Ty airplane, like just.
The Ty's leaving. That's what he's saying. He's Ty's out.
Well, then I guess Merez is out too, because if Ty's out, Merez is out. I mean, because they're like this, so. No. Chicago with the scoop. I love it. So let's move on to Kerry Booth. So I was told a couple things like
he was here this weekend, right?
Yeah, he was here this weekend. I think he left earlier today, either late last night or early this morning. So he's a Colorado kid, okay? And he is taking a visit to Colorado State, who's no slouch program. But he's from Colorado originally. He went to He went to Brewster Academy in New Hampshire, and then went to Notre Dame to play for Shrewsbury. But he's originally from Colorado, so it sounds like he is taking that Colorado State visit. Now, if he doesn't take that visit, obviously it means great things for Illinois. But with where Illinois stands now, they feel like they've got him. So we'll see.
Yeah, and he's the son of Calvin Booth, who played.
He's the GM for the Nuggets, right? So that's reason why.
I played at Penn State, and so he was a top 60 kid out of high school,
yes,
top 50 guy, and so he's got a ton of abilities. So.
Yeah, so he's a kid who, don't get me wrong, not a can't miss guy where it's like if you don't get him, you guys know. Because there's still a chance Coleman can come back, and there's other stretches but they really like him. But if you were to say, I would want Maddox a little more than I want Booth. Maddox is a dude you got to guard from like 30 feet, so he's a bucket, dude. Like,
yeah, and I think you got some. Well, I mean, before the Chester Frasier news is like Booth is probably a little bit of a recruiting. Over Hansberry, and I was like, we don't necessarily need to do that, but if Chester's gone, then it's probably something you really need to do. So it's just I do really like the kid. He jumped off. I mean, I watched some of his highlights. He's got a really quick trigger at 6'10". I don't understand why he wasn't more productive for Notre Dame, because it's one of those things like you look at Trey. Trey was really productive with Louisville, but it's a bad team. So, I mean, even the scouting report was like, hey, he's their second or third guy. I just have a little bit of concerns about Booth, but his athleticism, his overall ability does jump out when you watch him. And so I trust the staff's decision if they think he's the guy that we want. So.
Big question. You guys are like Batman and Robin. Who's Batman? I don't feel like I am, but I already know who he thinks is Batman. So it's all good.
I'm not in the comic books.
There we go. Hold on a second.
It's more like Jordan.
Yeah, there we go. Oh, hold on a second. No, Jordan's the GOAT, dude. We got to find another comment. We got to find another group. But I'm trying to get to these questions here real quick.
The kid from Oklahoma, Owe. Once again, that's a Chester guy. That's a guy we recruited out of high school. That's a Chester guy. I think him leaving probably hurts us a little bit.
No NIL for Ty Rogers. Wow, that would be something, wouldn't it?
My understanding is Ty Rogers was the second highest paid guy on the team this past year. And then somebody asked, what's it like on a recruiting visit? God, I wish I knew. God, I wish I could tell you. I wish especially from a transfer portal standpoint. You know what we'll try and do? We can try and get Marcus Damask on, but he's a little bit more of a high-profile guy after the season he had for sure. But I'd love to get Marcus on and ask him about that and share with the guys. So
if there's a Tuesday decision for Booth, well, let's see. That means, yeah, he's at Colorado State till tomorrow. So okay, yeah, he's picking. I wouldn't be shocked if it's not us. Illinois have connections within the Nuggets. Okay. You know what? I love some of you guys on here kind of explaining some stuff and jumping on to help because we can't literally just I wish we could talk 15 minutes about every topic. So I appreciate you guys jumping in and kind of adding a little bit to it. So, and Uncle Silk, you know I love you, man. Send me some more sick beats and I'll put them in our intro. He's the guy that had the sickest beats we've ever had. Is Uncle Silk. So now let's move on to Dante Maddox. Okay. So him leaving Louisville was huge because they threw the kitchen sink at him, you know.
But here's the other thing. I've heard this, and I want to talk about this. Like, they have to replace their entire roster, and if you go through On3's top transfer portals, like Louisville's already got a few guys in the mix, right?
Yeah.
And they've already signed a couple guys in the transfer portal. Like, how much NIL do they have to go around for? I mean, they got to replace the entire team. So are they really going to be willing to pull that much out there for Dante Maddox? I don't know. I mean, obviously Louisville's a very proud program with a great tradition. Like, I'm sure they've got money flowing in,
Yep.
you know, from Papa John throughout the years. But I mean, they got the Terrence Edwards kid from JMU.
Yep, they had Nick Boyd from FAU, Dante Maddox as well,
yep.
And then next week they got Boopy Kevin Miller coming.
Boopy
Kevin Miller from Wake Forest, a guy that many of us like, you know.
Oh, I love him,
but
man. I haven't heard much about him at all on our.
Yeah,
front.
but the reason why Kevin Miller wasn't really pushed hard from us, Illinois knew Kylan Boswell was going to be hitting the portal. Yeah. So, and they're like, this is a Champaign kid. We want him back. So they were like, we're good. You know, we know who we want. So, yeah, watch some film of Dante Maddox, you guys, if you haven't yet. Like I told you, he's a guy who'll pull up from 30 feet. He'll pull up from the logo. Okay. And he shoots over 40% from deep. Heavy Chicago roots connections with Tim Anderson. That's why I'm saying, like, I think Illinois
way back to when he was a young man.
Yep, yeah. I think Illinois is going to be in the lead, if not get to commit after their visit. And yes, I know Xavier and other schools like Michigan are trying to possibly get a visit with them. And but yeah, I still like where Illinois is at. So, where would you put him on your list? Would you put him above Booth?
Dante, yeah, right now with well, I mean, with the addition of Boswell, it's a little bit, you know, I mean, and there's and then Brian Boulay, like if Coleman comes back, like I think Coleman should come back. I think it would be best for him. I don't know if he's going to get enough rest on his knee to be able to go perform for the NBA Combine, but I mean, Maddox can really score. Like Maddox can really shoot, and that's something and he can handle a rock, and so. And there's another guy out there, Ryan Conwell. There's AJ Stewart. There's just so many moving parts. There's just so many kids out there in the pipeline. If we looked at like I told people, I don't know about on April 14th of 2023, but it was close to April 14th of 2023. Our starting lineup coming into this season was going to be DGL, Sincere Harris, Ty Rogers, Luke Goody, and Dane Danger. And that obviously was not our starting lineup. So there's still a lot of things in play here.
Just so we can knock this out. So, Store.
It's not dead.
It's not dead, but it's a lot less likely. Okay. Mom, I actually have known Mom. I think Annette Brandy is a sweet woman, but sometimes when parents get involved a little bit too much, and they can say whatever they want to defend themselves, that's fine. But I know what really goes on behind the scenes, and it's ugly, and it's real. It was real ugly. Like a couple years ago, the whole Bryce Hopkins thing, I'm telling you what, like, hell, I could even stroll back for you people 5 years ago with Oscar Shabewe. You guys may not believe me or not, but I got to know him very well. He would call me. This is when I was doing, I think it was Illini Scoops. He wanted to come to Illinois, okay?
Yeah, but his handlers
did not want him to come. Dude was nearly in tears on the phone when I was talking to him. You know why? Because they controlled when his brother was coming to the country or not. And they told him, you're going to West Virginia. So you better learn that fight song. And he's like, the visit to West Virginia was all right, but I loved the Illinois visit. Like, you remember the Illinois visit? I think he came, Terrence Shannon was there.
I think it was like the Drew Timme, like we got all the EJ Liddell, all that
everybody
stuff.
was there, and I watched him play open gym, dude. It was amazing. Georgie was shit talking him. Like, dude, it was amazing. He wanted to come to Illinois, but guess what? He wasn't in control of him where he was going. So, and then Bryce Hopkins' situation, he wanted to come to Illinois. But guess what? Your AAU school, the money tells you where you're going, and he didn't come to Illinois. So
does Bryce want to come to Illinois now?
I think so, but I'd be okay with it. But anyways.
Well, when could he play? Like,
it would be great if he could.
Ready by the start of the season?
We'll see if he's healthy enough to come back, because, I mean, you got to think about that.
Was that an ACL or was it
Achilles? It was ACL. Yeah.
Yeah, that's better than Achilles. So
we'll see. I haven't seen him hit the portal yet, has he?
No, he hasn't. I mean, I'm sure he's going to test the NBA waters, but I don't think he's healthy enough to play in the NBA.
Yeah, so
to go through the NBA combine.
So, like, you got to remember this: Terrence was making around $1 million, if not a little bit more. He was making about $900,000 his first year. He made a little bit over $1 million last year. AJ Storr thinks that's what he's worth this year. That's what he wants, and the staff's kind of like, yeah, you're good, but we paid Terrence Shannon, who had the best season in Illinois history, $1 million. Like, we don't know if that's you. Like, you're good, you're really good, but Kansas wouldn't pay him $750,000. Okay, so it's like Illinois is going to pony up $900,000 to $1 million. That's the problem here. Like,
well, my understanding is a negotiation, right? And we're not gonna be
bullied.
We told them what we're going to do, and if it's not that, then it's not that. And my understanding is we'll see where it's at. So.
Yeah, so that's just how it is. Illinois is like standing firm with it. They're just saying, you're not bullying us, and there's nothing to hold over our head. If we get AJ Storr, we do. If we don't, we're going to find somebody. So it's okay.
And listen, I understand what people saying AJ Storr isn't half the player Terrence Shannon is. He had better numbers at this point in his career than Terrence did before Terrence came to Illinois. But I do think that Terrence is always the more complete basketball player. He just needed to be unleashed. So
okay, AJ Storr would be an all Big Ten player again next year for Illinois. So, but is he?
I mean, he averaged 17 points a game as a sophomore. Terrence Shannon's high before coming to Illinois was 12 as a sophomore.
Yep.
Yeah.
So great player, but anyway, Illinois has the right to say we're not paying more than this, and if you don't like it, whatever. So that's what's up. Dante Maddox that comes to Champaign tomorrow. Yes, Xavier's pushing hard, but if someone were to grab my arm right now, twist it, and say, where do you think Dante Maddox is going to go? I'd say Illinois. So
it depends. It depends. Does Dante Maddox go for the biggest bag? Because if it's the biggest bag, it's probably not Illinois. If it's the opportunity to win and play on a relevant team, I think it's Illinois, right? And listen, he's gonna come with a decent bag too. Like
Illinois is not going to be like half what Xavier offers. Yeah.
No, it's gonna be close. So
all right, so.
And I think the AJ Storr thing is just let it play out a little bit. That's not dead until it's dead, in my opinion. My understanding is his family wants him closer to home. So that would remove some of the blue blood aspect of, possibly going out to the East Coast to Duke, Carolina, UConn, stuff with Villanova, stuff like that. So I understand. I think AJ wants to stay. AJ's family wants him closer.
Yes, Dominique.
So that's going to keep Illinois in the mix. So
I don't know if Maddox is a better scorer than Ray J. Dennis for sure.
They were teammates.
They were teammates. So better scorer, better range. Maybe not the better, point guard. But
yeah, no. Dennis is a better facilitator, better stat sheet filler across the board. But Dante Maddox is a better shooter.
Yep. So again, we won't complain if Illinois ends up with AJ Storr. I'm just saying how things looked really, really good a week or two ago, and there were people who know a lot more than me saying it's pretty much done, things have cooled and are less likely than they were then.
I would say this, that if you want to compare Maddox to somebody, he's probably as close to Alfonso Plummer as we've had since Plummer. But he's probably not got the quick fire trigger, but he's pretty.
If Illinois wanted to get Store on board, they would have taken Marcus Hill.
Marcus Hill
was the thing, man. It's like that'd be a done deal already. But I think that they wanted a guy. They wanted more spacing, a guy who could shoot better from deep. And then Colin Boswell's coming in, so they don't want 2 or 3 guards like let's say Rogers, and let's say you have Rogers out there and Hill together. Then you got 2 guards that really don't like to shoot threes. So, even though Hill can, I think he's, decent, but he's not some guy. He likes to attack the rim. So that's with that. I think, did we have I think those were the names. We talked about the bigs, right? And we mentioned you mentioned Raynaud and Bradshaw from Kentucky. I think that was it with the visits this week. I know they're working on some other kids possibly. But yeah.
Recruiting is fluid.
Yes, recruiting is definitely fluid. Store is from Rockford, correct? My bad. I got Hill and Maddox mixed up. Yep. So the assistant names, one was Rod Clark from Tennessee, and the other was Andy Cohen from Xavier. So, and Xavier's after him hard. So it's like what would be hilarious is he goes to his visit to Xavier, and then Cohen comes to Illinois. That'd be pretty funny.
That would be funny.
So, any football recruiting news? Well, besides Anthony Johnson leaving because he realized how talented Illinois' defensive line was already,
that's kind of shocking.
Yeah,
to me.
Like what I love about that is that gives me hope that defensive line recruits like Jeremiah Warren and Alex Bray are a lot better than we thought.
Yeah, and they're going to be asked to contribute. Oh, Mark Travis asked about Amos. Yeah, I think Illinois is still involved with Amos. I haven't heard anything about him, as well as Garrison from Oklahoma State, as well as Garrison's teammate. Illinois, there's so many names in the portal that Illinois is involved with.
I was told Mr. Mitch Rick that Bradshaw is going to be visiting at some point in the next week. Yeah. So before the 20th, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, Bielema did say that about Anthony Johnson. Jake Mraz chimed in and quit.
Yeah, he said he doesn't blame him though because he saw he's got one more year left and he's like he wants to go play somewhere.
Who was the kid that we had on from Yale?
Where did he quit on the team too? I don't even know where he went. I don't think he went to anywhere quality. I think he went to New Mexico or something. Yeah.
It's so strange.
And I'm gonna tell you what though, that big nasty dude they got from Florida State, that's another reason. What the hell was that dude? He played 4 or 5 years for him. He was like a rotational guy, but the dude's like 6'5", 320. He's like straight muscle. Oh my god, he's gonna be an impact guy.
Is it Auburn? You talking about Auburn?
No. I'm talking about Briggs. Yeah, there we go. Briggs from FSU. He was a dude who was a rotational piece for him last year on that really good team. But the previous couple of years, he was a dude who had started. But they'd been doing such great recruiting of late that he's still really good, but he just wasn't as quick. Well, anyway, Illinois got him in the portal. So, he's just a mammoth dude. So I think Johnson came and was like, they got the Auburn kid. They got this Briggs dude from FSU. And then they got these talented young guys like Jeremiah Warren. He's like, man, I might just be a guy who gets to play it. Dennis Briggs. There we go. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's my biggest concern is we're going to have to, this defensive line. I think the offense is going to score. I think they're going to find ways to score. And I think the offense will be fine. I've had big questions about our defense. Obviously, whenever you lose Johnny Newton, Keith Randolph, that
Briggs has had injury issues, yes, but doesn't mean he's going to be injured when they start next year. I know he's should be about as healthy as he's been, and I don't know Illini 1990. You think next year's Illinois team is going to be a disaster? I don't believe it is.
I mean, I think they're going to be able to score some points.
Yeah, I think anytime you can score in college, you're having yourself a chance. So
yeah. So, well, I mean, defense will be a big thing there, and if these guys are leaving because they don't have it, they're not getting a chance to play, then so be it. So we get the offensive line gelling together. It sounds like Desmond Schuster's really playing pretty well.
yeah, I really want to. I
Yeah.
need to figure out what the real deal is with Gibbs, Coach Gibbs. Like, I hope it wasn't like a COVID thing where like they made him to get the shot, because I saw a couple people message me and said he wasn't about the prick, and that the staff's like Bielam is big about those guys having the shot. And I'm like, man, this COVID thing is done though, really. Like, but anywho, that's just what
I'm gonna keep my mouth shut and just.
Okay, that's fine. I'm just letting you know what people have been telling me.
I go on my own rant about that. We might lose half our listeners.
Okay, yes, please. Please. You'll never know what his affiliation of the prick, just a prick, a big prick. He could be a prick.
I got a tiny prick, but it's just once, so it's all right.
So would you say? I would say I'm both, but I have a lot more connections with football recruiting and stuff like that. Both diehard hoops guys, but Kev, I mean, you're a what? Just a between the lines guy.
I'm a depend on what month of the year it is. Like, really, I mean, I can't. I mean, I attended every home football game except for 3 from the time I was 3 till I was 17, but yet I went to 22 games in 1989. I couldn't tell you what. I would tell you this: if we won a football national championship, I think it would mean more because of what football is in America.
Sean Garner, Oakla's transferring because he's not going to be playing. There you go. So,
yeah, and wish him the best. He was a nice recruit there when we got him, but I don't know that he don't know that he had another Power 5 offer when we brought him in, and I think that Miller's just looking for some guys with a little bit more athleticism at the offensive line position. So, wish Joey well. He's a big personality and a cool guy, but it's just like,
yeah.
All right. Luke Altmaier's the starting quarterback.
Yeah, like we both love Illini football. To me is real. Like I'm not going to come out here and say I'm one of the 8 people that love football.
The 17.
The 17. Like, okay, well, how the hell am I not been included in that? Because, I love football season is so much that just because hoop starts in late October with those exhibition games, that doesn't get me going. Like, the hoops exhibition games doesn't get me going. Oh, crap. Oh, forget Illinois football. Like, I'm thinking we can still get to 6 wins and we need that bowl game. Like, I still care in November.
Yeah, dude, I'm ride or die with both. Like I said, it's hard for me right now because basketball has been so front and center with the transfer portal and with what's going on with Chester Frazier leaving and the season just finished that my mind is really still wrapped in basketball, and it's not necessarily moved into spring practice and spring. And frankly, I've never really given 2 craps about spring because I think Illinois is going to win the spring game and Illinois is going to lose the spring game. I mean, there's been so many guys that have done well in spring.
We're going to be 1-0 no matter what.
Right. It just, for me, it's really hard to get into football at this point. But come August, man, I have the worst case of August syndrome most every year. By the way, giving credit where I just took a jab is, I get so excited about where the team's going and what it could be. And I have delusions of grandeur. I predicted us would go 10-2 last year. So,
yes, I can tell you right now, even though George McDonald left and went to Ole Miss, I think Illinois is in really good with Braden Trimble from Mount Zion. He's a real tough, athletic kid. He literally lives 10 minutes from me, 15 minutes.
And he is related. He is related to Kevin Trimble, isn't he?
I believe so. But he's a guy that Illinois has invested a lot of time with, and I know George McDonald has been the receiving coach, but the new receiving coach, our new wideout coach, is a stud. And Barry Lundy obviously has put time in with Braden Trimble. He's a local kid. I know he playing for Illinois would mean a lot to them and his family staying close in the Big Ten. Where
are we at with the kid from MacArthur?
Yeah, and we have a good kid. Yeah, he's not a 2025 kid, but he actually moved.
He's like 2027,
he's a 2027 kid. He's going to be a top 100 kid nationally. Mason Johnson Cook. He runs. What was it? It's just nuts. Listen to this. He was a 15-year-old. Runs a 4.41 40. 6'2", 209 pounds, 15 years old. It's just like,
that's some Curtis Blanding
and like
stuff.
if you guys follow my Twitter, like I have videos of him last year because my daughter goes to school. She actually had health class with him. So like she was just like, I was like, yeah, have you seen that like mammoth kid there in your class that has the face of a 13-year-old but looks like a grown man? She's like, yeah, Myson. And I'm like, yeah. I was like, he's literally one of the best football players in the country in his class. I was like, he's just like a special person, like you're just a freak athlete. So anyway, you know what he told me? And here's a scoop. He told me when he announces his top 5 here in a year or two, Illinois is going to be one of them. So
wide receiver?
He's going to be like he's a running back right now. He's not a wide out though. Yeah.
Brian, don't call me Bobby Boucher. I don't know who our best football player is coming into the season. I would take a stab. It might be Matt Bailey.
Yeah. It'd be who? Oh yeah. Matthew Bailey. That's right.
It's got to see the guy in the field, right?
Yeah, like but the half we got to see him against Penn State was pretty good.
Unbelievable. I mean, it might be Caden Fagan, it might be Pat Bryant, it might be Malik Elzy, it might be Luke Altmaier.
Yep.
It might be Seth Coleman.
Oh yeah, I mean, right? Getting Seth Coleman back was huge. It was like it was a must.
It might be Gaviakis. Like I don't know.
We'll that's just to think. There's still a lot of talent on that D line now. Let's just keep it real.
Oh, and you want to talk about the transfer portal as well? We just saw a guy we just saw multiple guys go in the transfer portal. Ian Pugh is the guy that kind of burns my soul a little bit because I don't know something about the guy. I liked him. I really hoped he would do
Owen
well.
Anderson.
Owen Anderson and Joey Okla. Anthony Johnson. So we've had 4 guys leave. That means we got 4 opportunities for guys to come. And so it should be the football portal is still going to come around.
I've heard the budget's not great at Illinois, but we're really working on that. There's a reason that they're telling people to care, go to the icon for Illinois. You care about the program, go donate money. Illinois does spend a lot of their NIL on keeping guys. That's how they kept Newton and Randolph.
That's more of the Bielema way. Bielema doesn't want to promise portal guys. It's kind of how we lost that center.
Yeah, Avery Johnson.
Avery. And then Sean Garner. How many players will Illinois get drafted in? About 10 days from now? Next Thursday.
At least 4 or 5.
Johnny Newton obviously is going to get drafted. I think Keith Randolph will probably get drafted. Tip Ryman will get drafted after his combine.
Isaiah Adams will get drafted.
Isaiah Adams will get drafted. Yeah.
And Isaiah Williams has a real chance, I think.
Yes. Isaiah Williams will get drafted.
That's So real quick here, we'll
lines, Anthony. Anthony, don't call you Antoine Winfield. Lines. Both lines. Can't have enough depth on the line. So I saw
2 things that I want to get to before we get to final thoughts is, did you not see who made the most money last year in the Big Ten? Did you guys see that?
It was Illinois. The $28.3 million in basketball.
28.
Right?
Yep, Illinois made the most money in the whole conference.
Yeah, one in that Purdue was at 16.
Yeah, but can you believe that though? Is there money? Does this program make money? Can they have money? We just made the most.
Oh yeah. Casey Washington, Randy said maybe.
Yes, I would hope so. He's a hell of a guy, man. His last
he showed out on his pro day, ran really well in his pro day.
Yeah, and all he really, to me, when you watch that Northwestern film, that's a pro wideout. So.
Yeah, dude. He's. I don't understand it. We always thought he was a catch and fall down guy, and then all of a sudden we started seeing him leaving people in the dust and be able to run after the catch. And Sean, yes, Josh McCray's still on the team.
Hey, to me, make or break year for him, man. It's their 3rd year. You're a big stud. You're a workhorse. If you can't stay healthy, do you really want to keep playing every year? You can't stay on the field.
The greatest ability is availability. Yeah. It's just what it. And same with Matthew Bailey. I hope it's there. And then Anthony Wilson, sir, thanks for joining on. We talked about it a little bit earlier. Cohen and Rod Clark are the 2 names that we've been hearing a little bit. Adam Cohen from Xavier, Rod Clark from Tennessee.
Yeah. Yep. So, true that.
Whoever it's going to be is going to be prep recruit has going to have some prep recruiting chops.
And I got to tell you guys, even if you follow us on X, subscribe to our YouTube channel. We really appreciate you guys, and the College Huddle channel as well. I got to prop these guys for having us. We're the lone Illini podcast on the collegehuddle.com. They've got national shows each week that sometimes you'll see Kev and me jump on. Kev at some point. I was on last week. I'll be on again this week talking football. It's cool. The only independent community of college podcasts. So every Big Ten school's got one. They're trying to get one and get a podcast for every school in the NCAA Division I and Group of Five. It's pretty cool. Gives everybody a chance to collaborate more and get their name out there. And gives everybody more opportunities to be heard and to network, and it's really cool. So we appreciate the kind words about the College Huddle as well. So,
shut up, Began. Shut up, Began. I gotta meet my guy one of these days. What schools is Coleman?
Yeah, dude. Russ, the Purdue, he loves to play devil's advocate from the Boiler Express podcast. And look, I wasn't trying to tell him what Matt Painter does, but I was letting him tell me for a minute what Brad Underwood likes to do and what our players are going to. I'm like, hold on a second. I don't know who you heard Coleman Hawkins is looking to transfer to, but if he's leaving, he's going pro. So let's just keep it there. So Kev, one of our favorite parts. Well, actually, it's my least favorite because it's the end. But I'm sure you got some golf news, right?
I don't actually, man.
There wasn't any big major golf tournaments going on this weekend. Okay.
I mean, there was, but this is Keepin in orange and blue, and Steve Stricker wasn't playing in it. Nick Hardy didn't. None of our guys were playing in it. But so I'm gonna go here. I didn't check today. Yeah, we hit 8 home runs today.
Oh, we're doing Illini baseball. I love it. That's where I was gonna go, but you stole it. Let's go for it. Hey, knock out, dude. Go for it.
What did we score? 51 runs this weekend against Northern Illinois. Now, granted, I imagine the wind was blowing out, right? I'm most certain that the wind was blowing out. But this team is like starting to come together, man. They're winning a lot of games. They've got some guys in the lineup that can bop. Chi Alloy has been just a godsend at the top of the lineup. Drake Westcott's mashing. Who's that? Ryan Mower. Like, I'm just starting to get excited about Illinois baseball. I haven't been excited for Illinois baseball. It feels like close to a decade.
Yeah.
So, and I didn't have much excitement coming into the season. So this is other than seeing my buddy's kid pitch for Illinois and hasn't been the greatest season. And I don't know if he's healthy because I haven't seen him on the mound much. Tuscola native. But like, I'm just really excited about where Illinois baseball's going. So guys, give them a tune in and see what's going on there. And if you can get out to a game, it's great. It's a great.
I'll get myself a mic when Kevin does. Whenever Kev gets a mic, I'll get a mic.
I have a mic, but I keep it. But it messes up everything.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. I see all these people doing their podcasts. To me, it's just like a prop. If you can't hear me, then let me know and we'll work on it. But like.
Drake Westcott and Drake Westcott and Jacob Schroeder hit 3 bombs each today. 15-3 in their last 18 games. Heck yeah, this team's rolling. Let's go. Yeah, I think we're second in the Big Ten.
This is an NCAA tournament team, dude. Let me tell you. And I looked at their Big Ten schedule. They've got a lot of the middle to bottom half coming to finish up, and they're already in like first or second place in the Big Ten. Like, this is a team.
Yeah, it's just such a strange sport. Such a strange sport for playing in the Midwest.
This is a team that can win 30-plus games, which will help put them into where they need to be to make the NCAA tournament. They are the number one team in the Big Ten at hitting the long ball, especially after this weekend. Actually had a couple.
Yeah, we're first in the conference. First in the conference at 7-2.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. They have a chance to win. They have a chance to be, like 18-4 or something, or 18-5, I think, when the conference season's over. So sound is fine for the both of you. And Alex, if you came late, AJ store in Illinois isn't dead. It's just is where it was a week or two ago, and doesn't mean it can't be fixed. But Illinois is just not budging, which is fine.
And I have no idea what the weather is supposed to be like in Champaign this weekend, but you got 4 opportunities to see Illinois. They play Tuesday night against SIUE, and then they've got a 3-gamer against Northwestern. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, including they've got two night games, Tuesday and Friday, and then an evening game on Saturday. So if you can get out there, go see them. And then they got Western the following Tuesday.
Yeah, there's
so and then the season gets tough. They go to Maryland, who's always been really good. So,
yep, there's tons of
and still pretty damn good this year.
There's tons of very winnable games at home for them to keep getting that record to where it be. And if they finish in the top 3 or 4 in the Big Ten, they're going to dance. So my final thought through all this storm of the transfer portal, this madness, keep the faith, keep trust and believe Brad Underwood's going to continue to put a quality product out there. I think I believe he knows what he's doing, but he keeps proving that. And every year seems this year obviously we got back over the hump with the Sweet 16, but he's made the tournament 5 straight years, the most wins in the Big Ten, so I think anybody who's upset or tries to say, oh, Chester leaving, it's bad for the program, trust and believe Brad's going to do the right thing to keep this program rolling. Absolutely. I believe in him. I hope you guys do too. I believe in Brett Bielema as well. I think this year's a big year for them. And go support them this Saturday at the spring game. So, is it Saturday? Yeah, no, is it Sunday the 21st? No, it's the 20th, whatever. Next weekend, the spring game. Go support them. Go have some fun. It should be nice this week. It's supposed to be in the 70s, 80s here in central Illinois. So we get nice weather again. It's lawn mowing weather, which is back.
Yeah, go to the spring game. Pop over to Cam's or somewhere on campus, have a beer and a burger, and then run over to the baseball game at 5 o'clock.
And I would say you're going to see probably Hansberry leave. I've been told tomorrow or Tuesday. That's what I've been told. It's coming. Harris is the unknown. So just be on the plan. Look out. Take a deep breath. Okay. Realize 1 or 2 guys are going to leave with Frasier, but there's always guys that they're recruiting like Booth that are just going to fit right in. So it's going to be all right. Don't take it personal. Anything else, Kev?
Amen, brother. No, that's it.
All right. Swallow me out.
ILO.
I and I.